Alright, so I just realized something last week. All of my most successful productions so far have been produced with this. And I'm not just talking about the hardware either. Sometimes it's not even really using the Maschine hardware, it's just using the Maschine software itself. But let me explain why. So I'm talking about the stuff that I produce for Richie Sosa, like Church and Shemmy. The stuff that I produce for Donze, like How and Superstar. I mean, How has over 160,000 streams or something. On top of that, I'm talking about half of the 10 tracks that I got signed to my first music library, also produced in Maschine. I've been using Maschine for only a few years less than I've been using Logic. I got Maschine Mark 1 in 2012, but I just kind of started piecing together why it is that my most successful productions and my most creative productions are in the Maschine software. And once I started thinking about all this, it just hit me where it's just like, you know what, man? Going into 2022 especially, I'm going to be using this the majority of the time. But Maschine and the Maschine software does have its limitations, and I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so let me talk about the ideas screen in Maschine, because I think that this is, for me, where it really shines from a creative standpoint and a workflow standpoint. Especially if you're primarily producing stuff that you want to be licensable for TV and film. I think that this is where it comes in really handy, because you can set the scenes, you can set the instrument groups, and just layer a bunch of different variations on them, which is a key, and I mean key thing for making licensable music, because you can't have 16 bar loops doing the same thing over and over again. You gotta have drum fills, you have to have variations in the melody, different instruments coming in and out. And to be able to just on the fly pump out a bunch of different melodical ideas and even rhythm switch up ideas, and then to go back into the ideas view afterwards and then choose from those which you like best, and it comes in really handy. And I think that they really doubled down on that by adding in the clips features last year, where you can make on the fly edits to a pattern that is unique to just that one section in the song. And another reason why is this: I love the way that it's laid out. Like, it looks very simple and almost a little out of date, to be honest, but the browsing features are essentially the exact same thing as the Complete Control VST. And the fact that you can search by tags comes in really handy also. Even within each individual instrument, you can search with tags, and you can even create your own tags if you wanted. But regardless of whether I'm scrolling with the mouse or I'm actually scrolling through Maschine or on my Complete Control keyboard, I just find it so easy to find a sound quickly that I want to use. Plus, then I can customize it with the controls on, once again, the Maschine or on the Complete Control keyboard. If you've seen the video that I made previously on making synthwave tracks, you'll see how blown away I was by just simply changing the group inside of Maschine, altered my song, and really took it to that next level. So just another way that Maschine really helps with the creative process. And so the reason that I'm switching primarily from producing in Logic to Maschine going forward, I'm focused on, number one, making licensable tracks for TV and film. And number two, any of my productions in general, I just want them to be more creative. And to me, based on the history of what I've produced and what I want to do now, this just seems like a no-brainer to me. Now, don't get me wrong, there are things that I'm going to be producing in Logic. Orchestral stuff for sure. You know, any of the tension stuff that I'm doing is 100% going to be in Logic. I just think that it's anything that isn't really beat driven, I would say, I'm not going to be producing in Maschine. And that's not to knock Logic, especially with 10.7. They keep updating the step sequencer, so it's a lot easier to program drums in Logic now, especially with that. You know, if you follow my channel especially, you know that I'm a big Native Instruments user, and it just makes sense for me to continue to use the Native Instruments products, including the Maschine software. I know they keep saying that they want to take the Maschine software to the next level. Technically, yes, you could still mix and master in Maschine if you really wanted to. I find it like not very visually appealing to do so. It's a little clunky for me, so I'm still going to be doing all my mixing and mastering inside of Logic. But as you can see, I did just upgrade to Maschine Mark 3 finally after 12 years of using Maschine Mark 1, which, by the way, still totally functional. This, with the screens and the added buttons, plus the playability, the pads is a lot better too. I feel like it's unlocked like a whole new level of creativity for me, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my fists here. So if you're somebody who's considering going and grabbing Maschine, I would recommend grabbing one secondhand. I mean, I'm in Canada, so for me, the regular retail price on a Maschine Mark 3 is $8.99. I scored this for $560 off of reverb.com. And if you are a current Maschine user, let me know what you guys think they can do to improve the software going forward. So drop a comment below. That's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll catch you in the next video.